And I did upgrade today, so we won't get kicked off, just in case. I don't want to cut Christine off. All right. I'm so excited you guys came on because Christine's obviously here. I don't know if you guys can see her or not, but Christine's part of our upline somewhere way up there, and she agreed to come on and talk to us, so I'm super excited. So, yeah. Christine, it's all you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm happy to talk to you guys. I hope you guys are having a good evening so far. So I was really excited. Alexa wanted me to talk on with you guys. She wanted me to kind of touch on kind of creating content and sharing on social media and all of those details. So I don't know how long you guys have been coaches for, but I know whenever I first got started as a coach, sharing on social media was something that I was doing, but definitely not in the respect of like sharing my life. And like, I didn't have a cute Instagram feed. I was just kind of sharing random things on Facebook. So I'm actually going to share my screen with you guys if that's cool. Because I'm also somebody that goes off on little tangents sometimes. And so I do better with, I don't know, like some slides, like a little guide. So I created some basic slides for you guys so that hopefully, can stay on track. Sorry for the wedding photo. Okay. Hold on. I'll click present. Okay, cool. So again, my goal is kind of just to share with you guys about social media and creating content. And to the extent that you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We can kind of just talk throughout this. That's my personal preference. So if you guys have questions or want to chat about anything, drop them in the chat and we can kind of talk through it. But what I want you guys to know, like first and foremost, is that no matter how long you've been a coach for, whether you've been a coach for like a day, a month, a year, 5 years, like however long you've been a coach for, that we all have to start somewhere, specifically when it comes to social media. And I want to share with you guys kind of where I started, if that's okay, because I know that so often for coaches, and I'm not saying I have the cutest Instagram, I'm just saying for a lot of people, we look at other coaches on social media and we're like, oh my gosh, they have the cutest filters, they have the cutest feed, like they must just know what they're doing, or they know how to create awesome photos, like I just don't really know what I'm doing. And so I just wanted to share with you guys, I literally scrolled back on my Instagram for like 5 years. I've been a coach for like 5 years. And I scrolled back as far as I could until I found these really horrid photos of myself. And I've never shared these with anyone, not even my team, because I'm embarrassed. But I thought, why not share it with, 7 strangers? So I thought I would share it with you guys. And what I wanted to share with you guys is just like, this is what my feed looked like when I was a coach. I was a coach here, and I thought I was doing an epic job. I was clearly showing a plank up here. I don't know why I was doing a plank and taking a photo at the same time. I had this really cool filter going on that was really yellow. I don't know what some of these food photos were, but I thought I was like a food blogger, I think. Like, I don't know what was happening, but I was a coach in this moment. So I just wanted to kind of share with you guys that we all start somewhere when it comes to sharing on our social media. And for me, I've always been somebody that I kind of had to learn over time. And so my goal tonight is kind of to share with you guys how to hopefully accelerate that process and get better at it versus wherever I started. Because in the beginning, as I'll continue to share with you guys, I had to keep just trying things that worked for me and trying to put myself out there a little at a time. And my feed, specifically on Instagram that I'm just going to share with you guys, has kind of changed over time. And I think I took some more screenshots just to show you like the evolution, because at the end of the day, your Instagram can change really quickly to the extent that you are showing up every single day. So I think I shared some more really epic screenshots. So the whole way to the left is that screenshot that I just showed you. And then over time, still sharing a lot of weird photos, a lot of weird text on my photos. Like, I don't know what all these stickers are or why I shared Peeps. I think I really liked those at a period of time a couple years ago. For a while, I was sharing videos on my feed because Instagram stories wasn't really a thing. So over time, I've just like started to share different aspects of my life. And I hope that just kind of shares with you guys that wherever you are right now, it can get better, and you might kind of change your vibe and kind of what you share on social media over time, because I am really embarrassed by what I shared in the beginning, but I also want to share with you guys that a lot of this in the middle, I was still helping people every single month. My business was still growing every single month, even though my photos kind of looked a little weird, even though I had a lot of growing to do. Over time, I really started to kind of peel back layers of myself and learn to share a little bit better and learn to share a little bit more about myself and not just kind of hide behind food photos or product photos, because that's what I thought I had to post versus what really was authentic to myself. So I want to share with you guys kind of how to start to share more about yourself, because what I found, the more that I started to gradually go towards what was me and what I enjoy doing, I didn't feel like I had to post. I wanted to post, and I was posting content that I was actually passionate about and that I actually enjoy. And that was allowing people to get to know me better, because yes, I was showing up almost every single day probably on the photos the whole way to the left, but I was sharing photos of my Greek yogurt. I was sharing photos of my sneakers, like things that people didn't get to know me, right? They got to see me sharing every single day, but they didn't really get to know me any better than hopefully they get to now. So I just wanted to share that with you guys to kind of share that we all start somewhere and that your storefront is your social media page. So it is really important to make sure that your feed represents you. And that's what I've hopefully been trying to get to. Again, not like the top Instagram person, not the top coach, but I'm trying to get better at it. And I hope this kind of sheds some light on where you might be right now or where you might have been in the past and how your feed can hopefully change and get a little better. Like right now, I'm pretty excited about my feed. I think it's great. I think it's a little bit more visually appealing than it was in the past, but I had to start there to become the person that I am right now, right? And so your social media is your storefront. And I want you guys to start to think about kind of where you're at right now and think about like, is your feed, like, are you excited about what your feed looks like? Is it appealing for you, what you see on your page every single day? And the other thing I want you to think about, sorry if you could hear kids screaming in the background. We have family staying with us and clearly the toddler is not very excited. You know, might stop. I don't know. So is your feed appealing? And then the second thing, are you open for business? Because at the end of the day, your social media is basically letting people know if you're open, letting people know what you have to offer. And if you're not showing up every single day on your social media, people don't know that you have anything to offer them. It's kind of like I'm a huge, anybody a coffee lover out there? Like I'm a huge Dunkin' Donuts coffee fan. Like that's my jam. And so for example, if I went to Dunkin' Donuts tomorrow, which I probably will, if I went there and they had like a close sign on the door, I'd be like kind of bummed out, go home, be like, I guess I can't get my coffee today. If I went back the next day and they were closed, I'd be like, this really stinks. I might have to start going to Starbucks. If on the third day I go to Dunkin' Donuts in a row and they're still not, I still see the close sign, I'm probably going to start to become a Starbucks lover, which is kind of embarrassing or kind of sad because I love my Dunkin', right? And that's the same thing for your social media. If you're not showing up every single day, if people are like, oh my gosh, I wonder what Erin's doing today, or I wonder what Morgan's doing today, or I wonder what Alexa's doing today, and they go to your page and they don't see any stories, like, they're like, what's she doing? Or like, they don't see you post, they're like, I wonder what she's up to. And after a while, they're like, I guess I have to go somewhere else to get that kind of content. I guess I have to go somewhere else to find someone to help me with their health and fitness. So I want you guys to make sure that you're showing up every single day on your stories, on your feed, whatever that looks like for you, but you do have to show up because I know for me, like I get really excited to see certain people's posts and certain people's stories. And I bet you feel the exact same way. I bet you have people that you follow on Instagram right now that you love when their face is like in that little Instagram bubble right in the front. You're like, oh my gosh, they got a new story. Can't wait to see what they're doing. And you click on it, right? Or when their post pops up, you're like, oh my gosh, that's her. You know it just when you see it. You know it's them. It's either bright or it's a certain filter, or you just know they're going to give you something that you want to read, right? I bet all of you guys have that, right? You have someone. It could be one person, it could be a handful of people. So make sure if you feel that about somebody else, that somebody feels that about you too. Even if you don't feel like that right now, there are people that are watching you right now that want to see what you're up to. So make sure that you are open for business, AKA make sure that you're showing up every single day in some regard, okay? Also on here, I wanted to make sure that you guys knew, like, it's important to make sure that it's clear what you actually do and what you have to offer. What you have to offer is not just a product. What you have to offer is a lifestyle. What you have to offer is progress or transformation or a life change. So what you have to offer does not have to be you holding up your shaker bottle, because I did a lot of those photos. You do not have to hold up a DVD or an Energize packet or your Shakeology cup in your face to show people that you have something to offer. And I say that because, and I'm joking, but like, I shared a lot of those. If you saw, like, I shared a lot of shaker cup photos. I shared a lot of photos where I was putting Beachbody and the brand way in front of me, when at the end of the day, I am what people like want to have. Like, I am somebody that I have something to offer to people in terms of a solution and a lifestyle that I have something to offer. So make sure that's clear on your feed what you actually have to offer people, that it represents who you are, because for a long time, it didn't really represent what I had to offer or who I really was. And I'll share with you guys how to kind of work on sharing things that represent you so people get to know you and not just that you love health and fitness, right? And then at the end of the day, I think it's really great whenever you're enjoying the process. So write in the comment section below. I want you guys to write how you feel right now if you're thinking about your social media. Are you excited about what you're posting? Are you sharing every single day? Do you feel like it's really clear what you do? What are you enjoying about your social media right now? And what do you feel like you could maybe work on? So I'd love to see you guys kind of drop something in the chat so we can kind of talk. And I will then kind of start walking you guys through how I started to kind of define what my brand is and how to define what I wanted to share about. Nothing. There's not even a hello? Okay, here, cool. So Alexa, she's sharing every single day and you like your feed, love, but you need to be more interesting in stories. You feel like a blah, blah, blah a lot. Tosh says you need to work on posting more consistently. Gotcha, girl. You guys have anything else? Again, drop it in the chat. Oh, Sherelle, I hope I'm saying that right, says you need to work on making sure your posts provide value. Rachel says you're excited about your social media content. Love that. And you have a great balance of lifestyle, fitness, content. You just need to work on your captions. I love that. That's great. Okay, cool. So it sounds like you guys are like, okay, I can do this. Might need to be a little more consistent. Might need to add a little bit more value. That's what I'm gathering. You need to post more on your actual feed and sharing more of who I am. Awesome. So I don't know who this last person is, but it's really great because that's the next thing that I wanted to walk through is like sharing more of who you are, because I really know in the beginning, it's hard. Whenever you become a coach, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm this coach now. I need to be posting all of this health and fitness value, all of this health and fitness content. And that's how I felt. I was like, all I was posting before was like photos of my friends, my food pics, going out to dinner, like those kind of photos. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I need to turn on the switch where all I'm sharing about is health and fitness. And I started to lose like who I actually was, and that wasn't really coming across anymore. It was just the awkward selfie photos and my shake photos every single day, which we've all been there, right? So if you guys don't have a piece of paper out right now or your phone, I just want you to get this out and start to ask yourself a couple questions, because I know again, for me, like I've heard people say things about finding your avatar or, you know, kind of writing down this perfect person. But what I like to do is kind of just write down things that I know that I can offer and that I love talking about. So the couple things that I want you guys to think about and kind of write down are, number one, what do you love talking about? Like, what do you love talking about? And maybe drop that in the chat if you guys have any thoughts too, because like for me, this doesn't have to be health and fitness related, because your feed is you and health and fitness and this coaching lifestyle. Awesome. One piece of that, right? But people need to be able to know you and love you and trust you and just feel like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see her post every single day because she's going to offer me value and not just always post a sweaty selfie, because people kind of get, you know, it kind of just gets lost in the feed every single day. So what do you love talking about? I want you guys to write these things down. These are going to give you guys ideas of things to start posting about. So I see your baby and hiking and dogs, your little man, military life. I love that. So things that I love to talk about, I love to talk about dogs. I love to talk about drinking coffee. Clearly, I've already done that. I love talking about certain TV shows. So like I love watching The Bachelorette. I love watching this new show, Songland. Like I just like watching certain TV shows. So I'll share about those things. So those are things that I love talking about. What are things that you're passionate about? That might have been some things that you guys were writing as well, like your family. That's something that I'm super passionate about as well. I'm passionate about helping other people. That is an aspect of my life, not the only thing. What do I want people to know about me? So think about this. What do you want people to get when they come to your page, which is basically your storefront or a little snapshot of your life? What do you want people to know about you when they come there? What do they want? What do you want them to gather when they hop over to your page, right? So if someone random comes to your page, what kind of feeling do you want them to have? How do you want them to feel about who you are, the type of person that you are? And something else I think it's important for you guys to think about, if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I love, or I don't know what I'm passionate about. What is something that like your coworkers or your friends or your mom, like what is something that people always ask you advice about? What is that one thing they're like, oh my gosh, I know I can go to Rachel and she will have the answer to this. Like, what is that thing that people are always coming to you about? Because that means that is probably something that you have value to add to other people, right? But we often don't give ourselves credit for those things because we're like, oh, that's not important. But guess what? Your person, the person that you want to invite to your next challenge group or boot camp or this coaching opportunity, those people that you want to connect with, those people are going to understand that. Those people are going to understand that value that you're adding that only you can add. So the next thing that I just wanted to share with you guys is that it's so important that those things that you guys are writing down are the things that you're putting into your post on maybe a daily and a weekly basis. And don't underestimate those things that you guys say that you guys are passionate about or that you love or that you can give advice on. Because that is like what I like to call your X factor, like that like it thing that you guys are able to share that I'm not able to, or the next coach down the street isn't able to share about. So for example, some of you guys on here already shared that you guys have kiddos. I don't have a child. Like I have a 4-legged dog, which is like my version of a child right now, but like I don't actually have like a physical child yet. And so for example, you guys that are awesome parents, you guys that are awesome moms, you guys can provide so much value in certain other areas that I never could, or other coaches never could. So that thing that makes you you, that thing that you are passionate about, or that you love, or that you can give advice on, make sure that you are kind of tailoring that into your content, whether that's in stories or in posts, because that's a value add that only you can offer. I think for a long time, I just never shared about those things. So I was like, well, that's not important. But what I found is that the people that I'm actually able to connect with on those small random things are people that I way more enjoy this process doing versus just being like, anybody that wants to be on my team, anybody that wants to join my challenge groups. Like, I want to have my people, right? Like, hopefully those of you guys that are on this call today, like, you guys are very similar. You guys get each other, right? You guys have common interests, right? Those are the people that you want to be on your feed, that you want to follow you, that you want to join your challenge groups, that you want to be on your team. But if you're not sharing those aspects of your life, it's really hard for them to connect with you. I feel like, especially just with health and fitness, because a lot of people, they're not there yet, or they're not passionate about working out, or they're not passionate about drinking a shake every single day, right? But they might be really, really passionate about that thing that only you can offer. Does that make sense? Does that make sense for like the sort of content that you should kind of be sharing about on your social media? I hope that helps. Okay, so in terms of kind of creating your posts, those of you guys that are like, oh my gosh, I need to be posting more regularly, or I don't really know what to be sharing about, I want to kind of share with you guys some top tips that I hopefully try to use and try to implement. Maybe you guys want to use as well. So I want you to think about your posts and kind of think if they are posts that you would stop at, right? Because I know you guys do it. You're laying in bed, or you're on it right now, hopefully not, but you're on Instagram, right? And you're like scrolling through your feed. And you just like scroll. Like I do it really, really fast. My husband's like, are you even like looking at anybody? I'm like, yeah, I see them. And you only stop at every so many, right? Like you're like, okay, yeah, I want to read that one. Oh yeah, I want to see that one. And so think about your posts. Are those posts that you would scroll stop at? Are those posts that you would actually look at and stop at and take the time to read the caption? Because I think that it's important to make sure that your posts are bright and that they're clear and that they're just really representing exactly what you want someone to stop at so that they actually read your caption. So maybe drop in the chat if you guys use any apps that you guys love on your phone or on your computer to edit your photos. It doesn't have to be really complicated. Clearly in the beginning, I used like the Instagram pre-filters, like they were not cute, so I wouldn't recommend using those. But there are a bunch of apps out there that you guys can use. You guys can also use presets. So I saw some of you guys said that you use presets. You can buy a preset on Etsy or online, and they're really, really affordable. I also put on here a couple apps that I love, which I think you guys said as well. So I like Lightroom, super easy to use, even if you don't have a preset, but you can also buy a preset. I love using Snapseed, also a great app. I also use this one called PicTapGo. I've been using it for years. It's probably old, but I like it, and it basically allows you to create your own presets, which I kind of just like found what I liked, and I use that as well. So whenever you start to take your photos, make sure that they are bright and that they're clear. And if you're taking them in a basement or you're taking them where it's kind of dark, just use an app to brighten it a little bit, because I promise you, if it's brighter and people can actually see you, they're going to be more likely to stop at your posts. And then I want to make sure that you guys think about if your images kind of match those things that you're talking about. So every time before you post on your feed, kind of think, does this represent that thing that I want to share about? Does this represent who I am, what I love to do, what I'm passionate about? And if it's not a really clear photo, if you're like, this doesn't really represent my vibe, or like I showed you guys some of my feeds, some of my photos that were not the cutest, if they're not super cute, or they're just like a food pic or something that you love, share that in your stories, right? Your stories are more for like your everyday reality TV show. I love reality TV. I don't know if you guys do. So like that's what your stories are. Your stories are like your personal little reality TV show. And then your feed is more of that curated content that you're hopefully working just a little bit more on. You don't have to spend all day working on your post, but make it a little bit more crisp and bright and light, and make sure that your face is in it. I personally believe that if you're in your photo, more people are going to want to see it versus just a food photo or just a photo where you're not in it. So I always put my face in it if I can. And if you don't have somebody to take photos for you, which sometimes I make my husband take photos of me, but if not, I just use a tripod. Before I had a tripod, I just prop my phone up on a coffee mug or a book or anything really jankety that I would just prop my phone up on. I would prop my phone up and I would just do the self timer on your phone. All of you guys have a self timer on your phone. So you don't have to always take your photo in the same place, in the same position every single day. Even if you're like, well, I do the same thing every day, or I always work out in the same place every day. Same's here, but just take your photo from a different angle, take your photo from a different place, take one where you're close up, and then maybe set it down, and guess what? Hit the timer and take a couple back pedals and back up and take a photo from a little bit further away. So just kind of work on doing something different to create more variety on your feed, because I find that kind of helps to mix it up as well. So a tripod might help. A phone kind of self-timer I think is helpful, or like one of those little like fancy remotes, but I'm not very good at those. But if you are, you can get one of those on Amazon too. And the last thing that I wrote on here in terms of making your posts is don't be afraid to stockpile photos and use them later. So like if you're having a really cute like hair day, like if today's like your day and you're like, oh my gosh, I put on real clothes, I actually washed my hair, like I just feeling really, really good at myself. Awesome. Take a bunch of photos and have them on your phone. So on those days when you're like dry shampoo day number 4, I can't get out of my sweatpants, I have nothing cute to post, and you're like, I'm not going to post today. I want you to go back and use those photos from the other day when you actually pulled yourself together, and you can share that. Your photo doesn't always have to be from that day that you actually make the post, right? You can take a bunch of photos today, a bunch of photos tomorrow, and use those to sprinkle into your content over the next couple of weeks. Or if you don't have a photo, go back to like a family pic from Easter. Go back to something else that you have in your camera roll, and you could always kind of share it again with a different caption. But I've been trying to do that a lot lately. It's really been helping, especially on those days where I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't take a photo, or oh shoot, I didn't have anything cute on my body that I wanted to share. So those are some ideas just in terms of creating your posts to make sure that they are scroll stopping. I hope this is helping. Let me know. I don't know why I shared this, but I just wanted to show you guys. You guys clearly are already good at taking photos. But I just wanted to share about how sometimes when you take a photo, just like some small tweaks that take literally 3 seconds. Personally, I think it's way more scroll stopping and way more appealing to the eye. Like I made my husband take a photo of me holding donuts on National Donut Day. I was like, hey, take this pic real quick. I can't just have the photo of the donuts. Like, have me in it, please. And so I took the photo, and then I just edited it like 2 minutes in, I think, Lightroom or maybe Snapseed. And I just feel like it's way more on my brand, way more like with my theme. The same thing with I made my husband take a photo of me the other day reading a book outside, reading a book, you know. And I had him do that, and then I just edited it really quick. And so it doesn't have to be really, really complicated. I couldn't find any really good examples of me in my dark like basement or something taking my workout photos, but the same concept. If you're in a dark place, you can always kind of brighten it up just with a quick edit. Okay, cool. Somebody I thought I saw in the chat said they want to make sure that they are providing more value, or they want to make sure that every time that they're posting, they're providing some value every single time. So I think that's awesome. And I think whenever you're thinking about making your post, a couple things that I like to think about is, does your post educate, does it entertain, or does it inspire? I think those are like the 3 main areas that I would think that most people's posts probably fall underneath. And I want you to think about, what do your last couple posts on your Instagram or on your Facebook, whatever platform that you're using, totally cool if you're using Facebook. I use Facebook a lot too. But think about your posts and think about, what do they represent? Are you educating? Are you entertaining? Or are you inspiring? And every single thing that you go to post, just make sure that it's with intention, right? You don't need to post just to post. Make sure that it has some sort of reason that you're putting it up there. And it's okay if it's just an entertaining like LOL moment that you want to post on your social media. Just know maybe the next day, maybe you want to educate. Maybe the next day you want to inspire somebody. So some examples on here to educate. You guys can put, if you have a fitness tip, or your top 5 meal prep tips if you're meal preppers, or your favorite Amazon. Like I got these Amazon scrunchies, and I've been sharing about them all the time because I love them. And I'm like, I'm just educating people that you need the scrunchies in your life, right? Like it's okay if it's on a topic that you enjoy. That's not health and fitness. So education. The second thing could be entertaining. What happened in your life that was really funny today? Or did your kids do something really crazy? Or did your husband do, like today, my husband did something weird. And so I posted it on my stories, not on my feed, because I probably wouldn't post on my feed because it was a video, but I posted it in my stories just to entertain people and kind of give them something different to see. The last thing that I wrote is like, inspire. What do you want people to get from your post whenever you are just sharing something motivational? So say you read in your personal development something today, you can literally just share that, and that provides value to people that you are motivating them and you're inspiring them. But make sure you're kind of like twisting those things in whenever you're creating your posts, and don't feel like it always has to be a call to action, or you always have to ask somebody that they want to join you every single time that you post. It's okay just to entertain sometimes. It's okay just to post a funny quote, and that's totally cool, and that can be the end of it, right? So that's what I want you guys to think about when you think about your last couple posts, and kind of look at those to see what you've been doing often and maybe what you can potentially change up. Personally, I think that the secret with social media and with kind of building your social media for coaching is just about building trust. And I think that you do that through being relatable and being consistent. So I'm not saying that I post the best photos every single day, but what I do really well is that I show up every single day. I show up in some form, whether it's on my stories or on my posts. I show up every single day, and I just try to show the best version of myself and who I am. And over time, I've been peeling back those layers. But the more that you show up every single day, the more that your audience is able to trust you, the more that you're going to be able to create conversations with people, which ultimately may lead to them joining you for your challenge groups, may lead to them joining you as coaches, or you may just find your new BFFs online, and that's totally cool too. But whenever you are sharing authentically who you are, you're going to be building way better connections versus just kind of posting to post, or posting those random selfies, or posting those weird plank photos that I used to post all the time, or those weird shake photos. If you put the message behind that and why you're doing those things and how that, aligns with what your lifestyle is and how that aligns with how they can join you too, I think it's going to be a little bit more powerful. So what I want you guys to do, and hopefully you can either do it literally right now or you can do it after the fact, is I want you guys to kind of look at your current feed and kind of decide if you think it represents who you are right now, if it represents what your brand is, those things that you wrote down. Is that what your feed represents? And if you're like, I don't know, how am I supposed to know? Here's what I want you to do. I've done this exercise with my team all the time. I'm like, go to your feed. I showed you guys all of mine, but go to your feed and just look at like your last 9 photos. Look at those and say, if I didn't know this person, what would I gather from what their posts are? What do I see from their feed? And so from time to time, I will look at my feed and be like, okay, cool. Like I just looked at it today when I was preparing this and I was like, okay, cool. I'm looking at it. One of the things that I'm really passionate about, or that is about me, is that I have a dog, love my dog. I'm like a stay-at-home dog mom. And I looked at my feed and I was like, oh shoot, haven't posted about him in a while. So what am I going to probably post about tomorrow? Probably my dog. And that's going to connect with the other people that are out there that are dog lovers just like me. So I want you to look at your feed and say, what would I gather from her feed if I didn't know her, right? And so do that, and you can always assess and audit yourself from time to time. You can even send it to your coach, whoever your coach is. You can send it to them and be like, hey girl, what could I work on? Or what would you get from my feed? Because these are the things that I think I represent, or these are those 3 to 5 things that I want to share about, and see how you can kind of incorporate that into your post. Because I know for me, that's been really, really helpful. It's just kind of assessing where you are and knowing that, hey, tomorrow you can change it up. Tomorrow you can try something new and kind of mix it up. So those are my top tips in terms of sharing in your posts. I saw some of you guys wanted to talk about I think somebody said something about stories as well in the chat. So let me know what other questions that you guys have. I am happy to help or share. I will stop sharing my screen. Okay. I love that. Someone says, let's be partners and audit each other's Instagram. I think that's really great. You literally can just screenshot. You can just like screenshot your last like 9 or 12 photos and post it and be like, what would you gather from me? Or like, or I also used to do this with my team, is like, I would also like screenshot their bios, because oftentimes in our bio, we try to like capture what our brand is. So those of you guys that started to think about what you're passionate about, what you're excited about, you probably have some of those things in your bio about who you are. But then oftentimes what we have in our bio versus what we actually post about are 2 different things, right? We say that we're excited about, our dog or our family, or we love tacos, or maybe I'm just talking about myself. But then in our feed, we share nothing about that. So people aren't able to really get the real you, right? So you can also do the same thing with just like screenshotting your bio and then screenshotting your feed and sharing that and being like, hey, this is what I say I am versus what I actually share about, right? I hope that helps. I don't know.
I'm going to make a post right now on our team page so everyone can post we'll audit each other. Everyone can post their little screenshot.
I love it. And I think it's just really helpful to get like an outside perspective, because if you're connecting with people every single day and you want people to then come to your page and follow you back, it's really important for them on that first glance, like what are they going to gather from what you're sharing about? They might not ever click on your stories, even if your stories are awesome. They're just going to go to your page, read your bio real quick, and look at like the last 6 photos and be like, I think I like her, right? So you want to kind of make sure that you're kind of capturing that every single time that you're kind of sharing. What else are you guys thinking in terms of posting or stories? Do you guys have any questions, things that you want to chat about? Here to help.
I think I muted you all, but you guys can all unmute yourselves and ask questions. Or do the chat. Doesn't matter. Anyway.
I'm going to scroll back and see what y'all said. Someone said, oh, this was you, Alexa. You said, you need to be more interesting in your stories. Why don't you think you're interesting in your stories? I love your stories.
Oh, I just like blah, blah, blah about baby all day long.
But people that have babies can relate to that.
Yeah, very true. I know. I want to go back and watch yours, see whatever Emmanuel did today. You said that.
Oh, yeah.
I love hubby takeover.
Yeah, my husband likes to take over my Instagram from time to time. People like it. I'm telling you. People like, if like your fam bam is in it, they like it. I don't know. He's way more exciting than I am, that's for sure. Because I feel like sometimes we feel like we're like in a rut or we just like post the same thing every single day. But people like seeing the same, people like going through the motion of your life. They're like excited about it every single day. You can always like tweak it from time to time, but I tend to share very similar things every single day. And then the one-off random things I share as well, but it's not always
amazing how like the time that you go quiet, you think you're boring, and then like I went quiet because I had a baby, and then I want everyone to know, and everyone's like, he must be here because you haven't been on stories. Like, I'm not saying that, but yes. Or like I know Monique's little one is sick, and she was quiet for a little bit, and everyone's like, I hope you're okay. You've been on stories.
Yeah, if like, and like the same thing with like, if you don't post for a day, like there are people, even if they don't message you, there are people that are like, oh my gosh, where's Rachel? Oh my gosh, where's Kimberly? Like I was waiting for her stories today, or like she always posts after she works out. Like those, when you feel like you're not like adding value, there are people that watch you every single day and look forward to your content. So you have to just keep showing up. It's like this like long-term thing where you being consistent really builds that momentum in your business over time. And so you just have to keep showing up. Even when you feel like you don't have anything to offer, there are people that are watching you and they want to make sure that you are going to keep showing up, because why would they join you if you're going to stop, right? They want to see you showing up every single day. So I think that's where you really build trust with people. What else do you guys want to talk about? Nothing? You're like, I already crushed my Instagram. Instagram's great. I love it. I'm already great at it.
Do you share just photos on your Instagram, or do you do videos too?
I'm trying to share more videos. I did in the past, like before stories were a really big thing. I think I don't know if do you guys do IGTV at all? Do you guys share any IGTV?
I started dabbling in it.
I did a few.
Like the IGTV game. I think it's popular. So I started sharing a couple videos recently on my page, just kind of mix it up. I feel like the algorithm on Instagram is getting kind of wonky lately. So I've been just trying new things, right? I'm just like a trial and error type of person. So I've been sharing some like quick like workout clips on my feed a couple times. And then I shared an IGTV for the first time ever, like a week or so ago. And it got a pretty decent amount of views, at least for myself, I think. So I would recommend doing it and just kind of trying it out, because I feel like even when I'm on Instagram, I accidentally click the IGTV button all the time. So like people might just randomly stumble upon your stuff from time to time. So I feel like it's worth a shot. I feel like Instagram likes when you use their features. So I think if you haven't done one, I would just set a goal for like, okay, before Monday or before the end of the week, just like do one. Like the worst that could happen is you delete it, but just kind of go outside of your comfort zone a little bit and create one. It can literally be any topic. It could be a video. I made one just like braiding my hair, and it wasn't even that good, but I was like, this is an easy thing for me just to do real quick. It was like a live video that I made, and I just uploaded it. And I don't know.
How's the Instagram sneak peek going? Because I've been thinking about that.
Instagram sneak peek's an interesting idea. So I've seen a lot of people have been doing it. I think it's going okay. I personally, like, I'm a big Facebook. I like using Facebook for a lot of things. So I'd always send all my sneak peeks over there. But as I like connect with more and more people on Instagram, I'm finding that a lot of people don't have Facebook, or they're not over there at least as much, because I'm more on Instagram too. Like, makes sense. So I just thought it might be an interesting idea for people to be over there. I don't think it's getting a bunch of engagement right now, but I do think that it's a great resource to have, right? So like now I have a place, as I continue to invite people over the next couple of days or weeks or whatever, I can always be like, okay, girl, let me send you over there, versus having to email them, versus having to punt them to Facebook. I can just be like, click this link real quick, and they're already in the same application. And you can kind of just save your videos again on IGTV. And kind of just upload them there. So I think it's like, I had to just do it just to kind of like get outside my comfort zone and just try it. And if it bombs, like, it's cool with me. Like, I just like to try new things. So I would recommend just doing it. I think I'm going to do the same thing and kind of just share about like my boot camps or share about my challenge groups. I think I'm just going to make another Instagram page. I just think it's going to be an easy resource to share with people on Instagram.
Yeah. Do you do stories during that too? Like on that Instagram page? Are you doing like stories like a day in the life kind of thing, or?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm being really successful at it right now. I feel like I'm like not doing a very good job, but that's the idea, is that you could also post stories in there. You could go live, you could post stories, you could make posts, you could do like, it's like the same thing that you would maybe do on your stories, but you would just do it over there. Again, I'm not executing it really well, I would say, but I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it because we've been running into the same thing. Like, not everyone has a Facebook.
Yeah, I think it's just like a different way to do it. And even if like you don't always run them over there, at least for those people that you run into, you're like, okay, cool, not a big deal. I actually posted the videos over here too, just for you to have them. Even if you don't do them live in there all the time, you could always just have them all over there in IGTV, just like numbered or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they can just like click on them. And so I think that's probably what I would do.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea, just to have them in IGTV so they could watch them in order if they want, and they're already in Instagram all the time, and might not be as time consuming to do that. That could work.
Yeah, I think it's like a good idea just to have them. And I just think people are on IGTV now more. So whether it's your personal page or over there, I think it's a great place to like put resources to punt people to whenever they ask questions. Like, oh, cool, I just made a video now. Go over there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Anyone else have any other questions? Comments? That was super helpful.
It was. Thank you, Christine.
No problem. Happy to help. If you guys have any questions, I am here to share. If not, I hope you guys have an awesome evening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just stick around for the pick.
I was going to say, I have just a quick question.
Yeah.
So, Christine, so I try to balance, like, I have a teething 1-year-old, so I haven't had sleep for like 3 nights. So how do you balance, like, when you have like a rough time and you're still trying to stay like positive and motivated and like trying to share that even when you're like just down?
No, I totally get it. Like, it totally happens, and like life hits you sometimes. And like, I'm in this season of life where I feel really, really busy, where we just moved about a month ago. We have a family of 5 staying with us right now. So we just have a lot going on. And so it's hard to always be positive. But what I think is really helpful is just to always, like, it's okay to share the struggles. It's okay to share like the overwhelm, or you're tired, or you're not feeling like yourself, but always put like that positive spin on it at the end. Like, I had a really, really bad day, but I'm still going to work on this part of me because I just want to better myself. Or, hey, I read this book and this was really motivational for me. Or I had to flip my mindset. Like, this one, I was about to post it before my team call, which was right before this one, but then I was too long to post it, so I haven't posted it yet. But I was writing just about how sometimes it's just about kind of flipping your mindset in terms of the words that you're speaking with, like, I'm so overwhelmed versus like, I'm so grateful that I'm able to be at home. Like, I'm so happy that I'm able to still be able to work and help people even through a busy season of life. So I just think it's putting a positive spin on it because that's what people want to hear. Like, nobody really wants to hear like, just like, I know I follow people that like are just kind of negative time over time. And then you're like, well, I don't really want to follow you anymore. You're not very like inspiring. So it doesn't have to be like everything is sunshine and rainbows, but just kind of putting some sort of positive, or the way that you're able to kind of overcome it, or the way that you're working to overcome it, I can at least be inspiring to other people, because there's other people just like you, Courtney, that have bad days, other people that have a teething 1-year-old, and they want to be like, wait, is there anybody else out here that has the same thing that they can probably relate to? And I bet that you'll get way more messages whenever you share those things, versus if you're like, oh my gosh, life's great over here, no problems, doing great, kiddos are wonderful. Like, I think whenever you share those things that are like kind of hard, or like those random moments, or those things that like kind of throw you off a little bit, people can relate to you a lot more, and they can really get to know you a little bit better. So I think that it's okay to be like, had a really crappy day, or like haven't slept in 4 days, or like there's still dry shampoo in here from last week. Like, people can relate to those things and just know that you're like a human person too. But hey, I'm still plugging into a training call at 9 p.m. even though I haven't slept. Like, that's something that's like inspiring, right? Like, she's really tired too, so I guess I could do it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to hear that. Thanks for asking that, Courtney.
Yeah.
You got you mamas out there that A lot of praise to you. We have 3 here that are under 5 right now, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I have no kids, so from no to 3, I'm like, whoa, I got a lot to like learn. It's a lot. I'm like, how do you get anything done? I don't know.
You
How long
don't
are they
ever
staying
get
with you?
anything done.
That's how I feel.
I still have a lot to learn, and I have a 15-month-old, so.
You kind of learn over time, but I feel like you really execute those power pockets of time. You're way more grateful for the time that you do have, and that's what I'm trying to realize. Like, if you have an hour of peace, like that's a great hour.
Oh, it's amazing.
If you have 10 minutes apiece, that's a great 10 minutes.
I learn now to make sure I really enjoy the bathroom breaks, or like when the door is shut, I'm like, ah, or like sitting in the car before you actually go inside, I'm like, ah, silence.
Yep.
Yeah.
People
I
can
had,
relate.
like-
I bet if you put that on your stories, people will laugh at it because there's other moms or other people that are just like you that'll be like, oh my gosh, can so relate.
Yeah.
I had 8 months of being stay-at-home pregnant mom, and I had like 10 hours a day in my office, and it was amazing. And then now I'm like, if I could just get 1 hour, that would be so good.
Yeah.
1 hour straight would be amazing. 1 hour total would be perfect. But
If I could get 30 minutes and nobody asked me for a snack, I would be so happy. So happy.
Christine, how long are they staying with you for? Or TBD?
Yeah, about another week or so. It's probably like a month long total. Is probably the goal. They're moving into another house that it's being built, so it's just kind of a TBD thing. But yeah, I'm learning a lot, that's for sure. And I also I think it's important, like whenever you don't have a lot of time, to share with people those things, because a lot of people think that you have to have all day long to build a business, or you have to have all day long to like plug into stuff. But I think it's really, really relatable, whether you have a kid or a full-time job, whatever that looks like for you, that you share that like, hey, this is the amount of time that I'm working, and the other time, like I'm present with my kids, or I'm present at my job. Like I don't do this all day long. These are the power pockets that I'm like working, or I'm just working for these 15 minutes. And I think that people need to hear that, because I think it's a slight misconception in terms of how much time you have to have. And you can be really, really productive with just a short. I feel like I'm more productive with less time. Like, oh my, I only have 30 minutes. And like, I get way more done in like a car ride than I do when I have 8 hours of time. You know what I mean?
I think that's true for not just only like the coaching opportunity too, like just in general, like getting in your workout and stuff, showing that like you're super busy, you're a mom, whatever, but you still make time for yourself is important.
Yeah, like we have, so the whole family is saying here, the mom, like she doesn't normally work out, but we've been waking up extra early. So we all work out before the kiddos wake up. And so I think it's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I get it now. Like I get that, like, you might like, I mean, whenever I had my other job, like I had to work out at 5 a.m. or you had to work out before the kiddos wake up, and people can relate to those things that like, you don't only have to work out an extra 30 minutes, but it like is so much nicer versus doing it whenever the kids are awake. Like she's just like, she's really actually enjoying it, which is really nice.
So when I first thought, I thought you were just having a sleepover. And then they kept showing up, and I was like, oh wow, this is a long sleepover.
So this has been a long sleepover. I'm just kidding. I mean, it's totally fine, but yeah, it's in a different change of pace for sure.
It's fun. All right, are we ready? Questions? I just know for the other mamas in here, I'm looking forward to bed.
It's still early here.
Oh yeah, you're really far behind.
It's only 7:16 here.
Christine, I can't remember. Are you in Delaware? Maryland?
I'm in Maryland, yeah.
Okay, I knew you were somewhere relatively close.
Yeah, it's 9:15 here. Yeah.
We have we have a handful of New Hampshireites, New Hampshireans.
I'm sleepy.
We're close. All right. Should we take our quick team pick, and then we'll all wrap this bad boy up?